Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and today we are going to review the anime film Memories. Now this is actually going to be a very different review than normal. I'm going to do this review differently from my usual ones, which have the formula of story, characters, animation, and sound. I'm instead going to look at all three films individually, sum them up to the best of my ability, and see how each of them hold up on their own. It'll be kind of like my outro segments in my regular reviews. The reason for me doing it this way is I couldn't find a way to tackle this anthology in my regular review style, so I decided to do this specific review this way instead. So with all that said, let's begin. For the first of the three Memories films, I'll be looking at Magnetic Rose. Before I delve deeper into my thoughts on this film, I want to mention the people who worked on it. Magnetic Rose was animated by Studio 4C, who made the Berserk movie trilogy, Mind Game, Detroit Metal City, and some of the films for the Animatrix. For the director of the film, you got Koji Morimoto, who did some animation work for Akira, animation help in Macross Plus, animation work on Mind Game, and directed and wrote the Beyond segment of the Animatrix. For the scriptwriter, you have the late Satoshi Kon, who is known for his directorial works in Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paranoia Agent, and Paprika, who based the story of Magnetic Rose from a book by Katsuhiro Himoto. Finally, for music, you have Yoko Kanno, who worked on Cowboy Bebop, Wolf's Rain, and Zenki no Terror. So, with an all-star production team working on this film, how did it turn out? Well, I'd say Magnetic Rose is a masterpiece and is easily the highlight of Memories as a whole. What it accomplishes in a short period of time is greatness. For a 1995 production, the art and animation is an outstanding feast for the eyes. Also, the characters managed to be great despite the short runtime, while tackling unexpected themes and elements. The story manages to grip you at the edge of your seat. As for the music, I thought it was wonderful to listen to. I'm not going to go into specifics because the best way to experience Magnetic Rose is to go into it blind. And trust me, I sincerely do not want to spoil any details about this fantastic story to anyone. I check out Memories just for Magnetic Rose, since it's so masterfully executed. The second film of Memories is Stink Bomb, and like my segment for Magnetic Rose, I'll first discuss the production team behind the film. Stink Bomb was animated by Madhouse, who produced numerous anime like Trigun, Hunter x Hunter 2011, and Death Note. The director was Tensei Okamura, who directed Blue Exorcist, Wolf's Rain, as well as working on Darker Than Black. For music, we have Jun Maike, who I'm unfamiliar with. Apparently he did music for Kiba, but I've never seen the anime, so I can't formally say whether the soundtrack is good or not. But I share a birthday with him, so yay! Finally, we have Katsuhiro Himoto on the script, who was the original creator and director of Akira, and worked on Metropolis as a scriptwriter. Also, the man is responsible for Memories as a whole. When I first watched this segment, I outright detested it. But after a certain time frame and rewatching with Corey, aka Mr. Reckless Penguin, I've grown to be neutral towards this part, despite me not being that fond of it. The story was meant to be a throwaway dark comedy, I guess, but the humor rarely resonated with me. I just found it dumb and pointless. There's only one character worth mentioning, and he's not even that noteworthy. He's just an average idiotic character you can find in tons of anime. The music fits, I guess, but I can't remember much of it except for one track that won't leave my head, and I wish it would, because it's annoying as hell. However, at the very least, Madhouse demonstrated once again that they succeeded producing some greatly animated works. This is my low point of Memories. Maybe you'll like it since comedy is subjective, but I didn't find much merit in it. Now let's take a glance at the final film of Memories called Cannon Fodder. Just like Magnetic Rose, it was animated by Studio 4C. It was written and directed by Katsuhiro Himoto, with the music composed by Hiroyuki Nagashima, who I know nothing about. Out of the three films, I feel the oddest towards this one in particular. The film is mostly world building, with phenomenal visuals that are mostly hand-drawn and appear spectacular even after 20 years. The editing, cuts, and shots are all superb, and show an insane amount of effort placed into the aesthetics. Despite it being a technical masterpiece, I have some issues with this film. There are no characters worth mentioning. They are all blank slates defined by one or two traits, which I find aggravating. The story can be summed up as a day in the life of this world at war. It does its world building through visuals. However, on a story perspective, nothing that needs to be explained is ever said to you. Like, for example, why is this world at war? Who started it? What are they fighting about? When did the world become like this? And best of all, who are they shooting the cannons at? None of these are answered, and when one of these questions is brought up, it's brushed to the side like it's nothing. While characters and plot were not the main focus of Cannon Fodder, I felt like the unanswered questions create some poor world building to the point where I could give a damn less about the amazing animation. Also, I don't remember any of the soundtrack pieces at all. Hell, at least Stink Bomb had one song I remembered, but Cannon Fodder doesn't even have that, which is a shame. While it's visually wonderful, I don't particularly care about Cannon Fodder. The world building would be fascinating if there were characters or a proper story I could latch onto, but sadly there isn't. It leaves me with an empty feeling, though not quite to the point of not caring about the film. If people can get something out of this film, that's great. As for me, my thoughts are extremely mixed on this movie. You know, for a movie called Memories, 2/3 of it aren't all that memorable. The biggest problem of the entire anthology is that it has the highlight film introduced too soon and raises expectations of the other two movies, which aren't all that good. As a result, it can lead to disappointment, like for myself. To the anime fans of today, this has largely become a forgotten title, and partly for good reason. I recommend watching with caution on this one because of the lackluster second and third movies, but it's worth at least one sitting, if only for its animation and magnetic rose alone. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you next time.